I was as happy as a pig in you know what, because it was such a nice group of people, and I was so young and I was the baby, so everyone looked after me. And I got to act every day. I got to do the thing that I loved the most in the whole world, with gorgeous people, outrageous costumes, and get paid for it. I couldn't bear the weekends. I just loved it so much. She came from such a different world than me. I came from kind of working middle class background, and she came from this wealthy environment. So that was, and I didn't even know anyone with a lot of money. I didn't have friends. My parents didn't have friends that were wealthy. So I like everyone else, just went, oh, she's a spoiled little rich bitch, you know. I didn't know back then you shouldn't judge your characters. I suppose I used the differences mainly. You know, the fact that she was used to money and had a lot of money, and came from a, you know, kind of a broken home, and those things gave me permission and helped me understand why she was going off the rails a bit. Yeah, because my life was so boringly dull and stable that it was a real joy to play this, you know, character. They used to have to spray all the props because I used to eat them. I had a big appetite and didn't know you're not supposed to eat the props. So we used to have to, the directors would put lollies and scroggin and things in their pockets for me. And the art department would make a very clear sign of getting this, whatever spray it was, and go, Lisa, psst, you can't eat it. Psst. I resisted the Hercules call for quite some time because all I heard about was breasts. And I thought, well, I can't offer them much of that, and I'm not really interested in offering much in that kind of genre. So, and when it first started, it took itself a little more seriously than what it morphed into. And when they persuaded me that it wouldn't be a breasty kind of part, by that time it had got quite funny. It got that wonderful sense of irreverence and sense of humour. And once I was in on the Hercules run, I loved it because I'm such a big actor. I'm such a camp, really over-the-top actor. So it was, you know, it just gives you license to play. And Kevin's lovely to work with. And of course, most of my work was with Michael because I would play his kind of comic offsider while Kevin was having an episode off, and we'd kind of drive the episode. And Michael's as funny as a fit, and we had good timing together, and it was a lot of fun. I remember being covered in mud in a mud pool with him on top of me, and all I could see were these bright blue eyes, and you could just see my green eyes, and of course the push-up bra and everything, and he was kind of like face down in my boobs, and he looked up and said, "It's a great job, isn't it?" We had a lot of fun. It was great. Well, I love Claire. She's a great girl. I suppose she was written very heroically, and what I tried to do was bring her down a peg or two and really work on her flaws, which was the fact that she was emotionally dysfunctional, having grown up in a really tough man's world. And because we were shooting on location, I could get a sense of what that was like. I used my head animal wrangler, Bill, as my inspiration for her father, and for her, really, and a bit of my own dad. I didn't model her after any women at all because she wasn't in touch with her femininity at all when we first met. And she had a really good heart. And she really went for the underdog. So we had those two things, I think, in common. But I just really enjoyed messing her up, you know, trying to make her as dislikable as possible, because she really was written like a like a hero. And I think she is a hero, but I think she was more interesting for showing her vulnerability and her flaws and her walls and all of that. She was great. She was a real challenge. She's my most challenging role to date, because other than sharing the same genitalia, we don't really have much in common. So it's I could empathise as to why she is the way she is, and I did a lot of research to try and help understand why she is the way she is. But it was still very difficult having to be her body and her mouthpiece and do the things she does. Well, she kills people and I don't. She tortures people and I don't. She seeks revenge and has, a personal vendetta she will take to any extreme. And I don't. I'm more in the turn the other cheek, forgive and forget kind of thing. That was really challenging to play because, I quite like doing heart stuff and really connecting and having relationships and being changed by people as an actor. That's really exciting. Whereas this woman, only one person gets in, and that's right at the end. And we do see her change, but it was challenging just being this really tough person holding a gun. The first time I shot the gun, I burst into tears and had to take rescue remedy before we could shoot again. And by the last day of the shoot, I was feeling uncomfortable without my semi-automatic weapon hanging off my shoulder. I was literally going, don't you think we should have the gun in this? What can go wrong is that the gun explodes and that if I get it in the wrong place, that the stuff coming out could get in his eyes or could get his genitalia, as he put it. Don't shoot him in the balls. And, Will's newlywed, wanting to start a family. And all I could think was, oh my God, he's either going to be blind or impotent. And if I, in this really fast movement, go get it up too high or too low, or the gun could explode into both of us. Of course, nothing like that happened, but as we were lining up for the close-ups and we're next to each other, and this was the actual stunt one where I had to shoot him, we're both lined up. And Will says to me, without even looking at me, he says, if anything happens, tell my wife I love her. Oh, God. And I'm having to be this big, tough Sophie who's about to shoot him. And I just said, it's going to be a great story at dinner time, love, you'll be fine.